Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca Lauren. In case you don't know me, you might know me from somewhere like Discord somewhere, some like random crazy lady who is always talking about herself. Uh I thought I would weigh in all the stuff that's been going on. There's been some drama, some serious, some kind of stuff about the addiction stuff with the gambling and Slicker. Not too out of character for him, but at the same time, this was kind of a big shock, I think, for a lot of people at this extent. Um, and I just thought I would like weigh in on the situation. I don't know any of the people involved. I just want to get that out of the way. I'm just a random streamer content creator who's out there. And I kind of pay attention to all the stuff that's been going on and watching all the clips. And I just want to like kind of talk about this the bigger subject about addiction, specifically about gambling addiction. I don't know so much about that. I do understand some of it though, and I can kind of work it out myself right now. Um, Today I was playing a stream of a Pokemon trading card game online, and in case you don't know, trading card games are basically somewhat of a form of gambling. I kind of explained that it is a bit different because you don't go into a trading card game expecting to win money. That's a key difference, I think, between anything that's like video game, loot boxes, or anything like that. I feel like there is a huge marked difference between anything where you put money into it and you get some kind of in-game item and that's it. Going into it that you're not getting that money back. Honestly, you should treat gambling like with slots the same way. But since it can usually be traded in for real money, people see it as like, oh, wow, I can make money this way. And it's this trap people get into. Um, it's really easy to get into an addicted mindset, even with the loot boxing and stuff. I can see how if I really had like an endless bank account, or even my bank account now, I could just continually keep dropping money, getting booster packs, and like, oh yeah, I got this new card. Oh, maybe if I get 10 more, I can get this amazing card that I need. But here's the deal, there's always going to be another amazing card. There's always going to be another thing that you need. And, the video game designers, the card game designers, they know this. They continually add content so that you, the purchaser of this content, are going to think that, oh, well, I already had all this stuff, but now they're adding in an update and they're adding in more stuff. So I'm going to have to get that stuff or I'm going to be behind. And you get into this cycle of buying stuff. Now, that alone is kind of a different problem. But if you add this additional problem of, I'm going to be able to make some money and I can start buying that car that I need, or I can start, maybe upgrade my house. There's this pattern that people go through. And it's not unique to gambling. It's not unique to slots or poker or sports gambling, which, there's all sorts of legal issues with certain things depending on what state you're in, depending on the activity that you're engaged in. There's always going to be some kind of difference. But there's the same fundamental concept that people get it into their heads that they can put money in and get more back than they put in. And it's false, because you start putting money into gambling. Every single time I've gone into a casino, I got like, maybe like, I think the most I've ever spent in a casino, I like took out $80 or something like that. Lost it in like 10 minutes, probably less. And I was like, okay, it's gone. Now I'm going to go do something else. You know, most people aren't able to do something else. They go back to the ATM. They pull out another $80. They put it in. And they like, oh, I lost it all. Well, maybe if I keep putting more in, I'll make up my losses. But no, what you want to do is if you're going to gamify it at all, first of all, only use money that you were expecting to lose. Treat it like it's a microtransaction in a video game. If you put money into Genshin Impact, you're not expecting that money back. So you should treat gambling like at a casino the same exact way. Secondly, if you're going to gamify that money, you set like, okay, I have $100. I'm only going to use that $100. I'm basically converting it into casino bucks. My actual bank account is no longer part of this game. Now, if you put your mindset into that game, though, then you should start thinking of like, okay, well, I'm going to bet like $10 the first round. And if I win, now I have like $12. Well, now I'm going to increase my bet. And then maybe you have $14. Okay, now I'm going to increase my bet. Now you have $20. But then maybe the next one you lose, now you have $12 again. Well, the first instinct for the gambler is to put in more money so that they can make up the loss. But that's a losing mindset. Because ironically, what you want to do is every time you lose, you bet less. Because you lost, you don't want to lose more. So if you lost $8, then you're going to go back to your initial bet. Well, now I'm only going to bet 50 cents. And then when you win again, you're like, okay, now I'm going to bet $1. You win again? Okay, now $1.50. Okay, you win again? Now $2. Oh, then you lost? Oh, back to 50 cents. Okay, you have to think of this, you don't want a losing system, you want a winning system. That you increase your bet only as you win, and then you decrease your bet as you lose. But, casinos will kick you out for that. But if you can transfer that into a mindset that you should have for how you treat your life and how you treat activities that can be pretty fun, especially in a social setting. You're just hanging out with your friends. You're like, pull the slots. You're like, wow, I could be a mega winner. Most likely you're not. Most people do not win. Okay, but there's always that chance, right? You put a few dollars in a machine, you might pull the slot, and it'll be like jackpot. That might happen. But you should go into it knowing it's not going to happen. Another thing I want to talk about is manipulative behavior. And when you see what's going on with Slicker, we saw the videos of him, it's like, oh geez, guys, my banks are all closed. Oh, man, I really wish I asked other people, but I have to ask you because they said no. And, it's all this. Just don't tell anyone about this, but I hope you can help me out, man. Everybody's heard this story if they've had anybody with an addiction in their life who needs money, either for drugs or for gambling or for any number of reasons. You can tell when somebody is serious or insincere or not. Sadly, most people want to assume the best in every person they meet. But people who are manipulative know how to pull on those heartstrings of yours. They'll say like, oh, well, I can take advantage of the fact that they're going to assume that I'm genuine. And so I'm going to put on some crocodile tears. I'm going to, tell them the situation that I made up, or maybe even some of it's true. And then they're going to feel sorry and they're going to be like, oh, you can't possibly be making this up. But people who manipulate people, they know this. They know that you will assume the best of them. And the inverse problem of this is that when people do seriously have a problem, people who are a little bit over defensive or who have been scammed before will immediately assume that you're trying to scam them. And so what I've learned is that if I need something, I never really ask for people. And if I do, I never expect anything in return. I kind of just say it how it is, be like, hey, I've tried this, this, and this. I need some help with this. I'm not gonna put on this sob story for you. I'm gonna, most likely, if it's at all possible, I would ask someone when I'm in a stable mindset, not when I'm upset. But what you will see, and you see this in take for example, the YouTube apology videos that people do. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I did a thing on my YouTube channel and I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never do it again. Like, this person is a YouTuber. They had all the time in the world to gather their emotions, put up a camera, put on makeup, and record the video. They could have recorded the videos when they weren't crying. And usually you can tell when somebody's fake crying. Now, I don't want to say this like wholesale because some people are different. Some people might actually be emotional and, in the moment at least. In a YouTube video, I really don't see why there's any real reason to not do a take where you're calm and collected and you're just like, hey guys, like I fucked up. I did this. Like, I don't know what I was doing. It's not okay what I did, but here's what I'm going to do. I don't expect your forgiveness. I'm just saying this is what it is. I'm not going to give you a sob story. Like, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can go about it, sincerely. And you can usually tell when people are sincere, even in this world where we live in, where people are on YouTube and they're kind of making this fake persona or larger than life persona. There still is a difference between somebody who's genuinely remorseful or genuinely in distress. You could see it in their face too. Like you can see like their face flushing. If they're crying, you see like the swollenness of the eyes. Obviously some of it, it could be, especially with like Hollywood makeup and stuff, you can make that appear to be the case. But, at some point you have to say like, this person is a YouTuber, a professional YouTuber, and they're making a video where they look like they're out of control and they're like, guys, I don't know what to do. Like if they didn't know what to do, they would have waited until they knew what to do and then recorded the video. I don't want to say this wholesale because obviously there are times where you just do it and you send it out and that's just the easiest path because maybe you're not in the mindset to edit a video. So I don't want to throw any YouTubers or anybody under the bus with this. But what I do want to say is that manipulative people have like this different tinge to the way they say things. It's always some kind of ask, especially when it's for money, that, oh man, like I really am I'm in a bind here. Like my bank is frozen up. I don't know what to do. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't ask you. Oh, really? Oh, thank you. Like they knew that they were going to get that result. And then they said the things that they thought that you wanted to hear. Now, people who have been there and done that, who've seen that several times, won't fall for that. And then they start freaking out. That's usually when people might get violent even because they don't know what to do anymore. Their usual manipulation tactics don't work anymore at that point. So, if you've been through people who've manipulated you, or if you've been a manipulator in the past, you can see these signs. When people say certain things, when they do certain things, and you say like, that's manipulative behavior. I'm not putting up with that. Sorry. And they don't know what to do. So Unfortunately, a lot of people assume the best in everybody. It's not a bad thing, but I just want to say, like, I hope this whole situation with Slicker, I really hope that it wakes up a lot of people to how manipulative people can be. And then also, I know that like people like Asmongold kind of just don't give a flying fuck about Slicker or anything, because he did scam someone who was going through chemo and stuff like that. I understand that. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But you can also understand that he is also a human being, and he is suffering through a different kind of cancer, which is addiction. So it doesn't mean that you forgive him for it. Doesn't mean that you let him hurt you. It doesn't mean that everything's all nice and cozy or whatever. It just means that this is a person who's going through a problem, and it's separate from the repercussions of their actions. Because people can come back, people can recover from addiction, people can start their lives again. It's never going to be what it could have been. It's never going to be the same. Life is never the same. And if you've done things to cause egregious parts of people's lives, like, if you've done things to cause harm to other people, that's going to come back to you. And you have to understand that moving forward, there's no making it right. But you can move forward. You can move on. But you're not going to make it right. You can have a fresh start. But you're never going to make it right. You're never going to undo what you did. So, just kind of wanted to talk about the situation because it's more than just personal drama. I usually don't get into streamer drama because, sometimes it's just a little bit too personal between them. Like the XQC and Adept stuff. It's like that's just a breakup stuff. It's really like, honestly, like I've seen that happen to so many people. It's really just like always this whole he said, she said kind of thing. It's really kind of ridiculous. None of us know the details. The only people who know the details are the people involved, the family members involved. It's literally just, I don't want to say it's manufactured drama, but it's definitely farming. And, when people, I think the people who are streaming like XQC and Adept, their relationship is public, and they're XQC is like a super like clouded streamer. All the people in his life and all these people who are on the top echelons of like this kind of clout on Twitch and stuff, they're in a different wavelength than the rest of us. And so we kind of eat it up sometimes, but I want you to remember these are real people, and just because, they're entertainers, and just because it seems like it's some kind of drama or manufactured drama, they are real people, and they process their life in a very different way because of their fame and stuff like that. So there is something going on, but at the same time, don't ever think that like a streamer personally, or like what they're going through. So like, I don't know Slicker, so I don't know exactly the situation. I'm not somebody who lent him money, so I don't know that. I'm like some random chick who just follows all the content stuff on Twitch, and I see what's going on. Similarly, like with XQC and Adept, I literally know nothing about their relationship except for that they've had a relationship. Like that's about it. That they're on stream, and they're just that. I don't know anything about XQC personally. I don't know anything about Added personally. I don't know anything about any streamer personally. I just know what they put on camera. And I think it's so easy for people to say like, oh, I know exactly what happened because I listened to what that person said. Never listen to a word anybody tells you. Because if you talk to anybody who's like gone to prison or who's gone through the streets or drug addiction, everybody has a story, and it's always from their point of view, and they try to paint themselves as the best version of themselves possible, and they tell their own version of events. They probably leave out some critical information. They probably lie about some things. There's so many different things you need to consider when you're listening to someone tell you about their life or about a relationship or about any kind of situation. If you don't know all the facts, you can't take what somebody says to you at face value. Now you can have faith in someone. You can like give person the benefit of the doubt, but never, ever, ever think that you know 100% of the information. And in fact, you don't need to know the information. There's so many other things that you should be focusing on. Maybe you should go write that novel. Anyway, I am writing that novel, and so that's why I pay attention to this stuff, because it's all the same. Human nature is the same. People go through different specifics. People go through different iterations of the same exact concepts. Drug addiction, gambling addiction, a breakup, using anal beads to cheat at chess. You know, the normal tropes. Anyway, this has been another Cabbage Brain Take. Thanks. Bye.